Who got that optimization insider?
All right, we're back. We're here with Jamie Blomquist. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
So you work for Google.
I do.
How cool is that?
It's pretty rad.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
You hear all these stories about like the cafeterias and things like that. They're all true?
I tell people, whatever you think Google is and what it's like to work there, it is probably that. Like,
all right.
Yes, the food is amazing. The Google 15 is amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Well, it's so great to have you here. So I want you to just give us like what's like one or two key takeaways from the session that you just did for people who maybe missed it or were there. Like, what do you want them to walk away with?
Yeah, I think in my experience, I've watched a lot of marketers make plans across every vertical.
Yeah.
And what strikes me most about nonprofits is that the demands are so much higher for this group. Like, you don't have to give.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
definitely not.
You do not have to do this. And so the demands of those experiences are so much higher. And so whether that's mobile or UX or personalization, what I really hope this group took away is like, use your data, like know your person, like don't lose sight of the fact that you are talking to a human. Right?
Yeah. That's great. And you know, like we talk a lot about seeing through like a landing page to the person on the other side.
Love that.
And it's easy to forget because you start doing reports and you got numbers.
Click-through rates, something like that, and you're like, okay, you forget this is a human.
Exactly.
I love that you guys say that.
So that's great to hear someone from Google who's like oodles of data talking about like the person on the other side.
Yeah, totally.
So one of the pieces of data that you did share that I thought was really neat, you looked at search trends and you kind of compared branded search trends for like, you know, Red Cross or actual nonprofits versus kind of unbranded search terms like, you know, doing good or something like that. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you think that means?
Yeah, sure. So for those who hadn't seen it, when we sort of peel back the search demand, or in this space specifically, what we find since 2014 are branded searches are flat. So, and for many big organizations, they're actually down. So when I say branded, Red Cross, UNICEF, Compassion International.
Like the big ones.
The big ones.
Yeah.
Even the small ones, down. But non-branded stuff, so people looking to support animal rescue or women's causes or whatever, those are the ones that are actually increasing. So I think what that data point specific, I think there's two things. One is that there's a lot more players, right? And two, if you look at giving behavior, especially of a younger generation, they are more interested in value and results than they are institutions.
Right.
So you have to earn that.
Yeah.
You know? And so it gets to like some of the stuff you guys are doing, like it gets into like telling your story and like standing out.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think it's kind of a call to action for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the interesting things, so, you know, when you talk about a value proposition question is why should I give to you compared to another organization? Or not at all, and that's that kind of like it's extra hard. But the other thing is people are searching for like, how do I help animals? It's not just nonprofits helping animals, right?
True.
Like your neighbor down the street can just be doing their own thing, and it's not a nonprofit, or they're crowdfunding something, and so like the space is more crowded in nonprofits, but just in like people doing stuff. Right?
And,
like it's so much more crowded.
It's not even nonprofit. Like, think about news.
Yeah.
There used to be like, what, 5 news channels?
Right.
How many are there now?
A billion.
Billions. I was going to say thousands, but
Literally,
probably billions.
Okay, thousands.
So yeah, that fragmented experience, not just nonprofits, it's everything, right? Like people get to be very much like, I want this specific thing.
Yeah.
You know, so you have these millions and millions and millions of very specific experiences. And so it's hard as a nonprofit to find that tiny niche, right?
Well, and what's interesting, like when we work with clients, even small clients, and we go through their data, because maybe they don't necessarily know it, and two things that almost always stand out. One, they get tons of traffic direct from search. And they have no idea like how or why, but like the sheer volume of people searching for stuff, as you know, is crazy. And so nonprofits aren't even really thinking about what is the experience for someone coming from search. Like maybe they're just coming to a homepage or a blog post that was 3 years ago, but you know, it's tracking for some reason, and like they don't even necessarily know. The other one is the percentage of new visitors. It's almost always 70-80% that visit a nonprofit site. Because a lot of it is that a lot of them don't have content to like bring them back.
Right.
So it's people looking for something, they find a site, they generally don't find what it is they're looking for and leave. And so it's like, if you know people are searching for you, and you know that they're a first-time visitor, like you should probably create a different experience.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, and that's why I think, and I've seen the shift even in sort of budgets of the clients that I work with. Like you can't just do like a broad marketing,
Right.
like you can't just shoot it out and like
Yeah.
hope stuff lands.
Right.
And so the idea of sort of audience marketing and retargeting and like tailoring your messages and making
Yeah.
tiny, like that's important. Like
Yeah.
I have no tolerance for a broad statement. That doesn't. If I've already been to your site,
Yeah.
don't keep saying the same thing to
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Like, give that person what they're looking for. And so I think that's why most of my career has been in paid search.
Okay.
I love that stuff because
Yeah.
you can control that experience
Yes.
so much more tightly than
Yeah.
you can for a lot of other marketing channels.
Yeah. Well, and I find a lot of people don't have control over like their landing page, and it's like, well, it's going to be pretty hard, to do this well
Yeah.
if you're only controlling like the ad side of things, and you don't
Yeah.
have a lot of control over the landing
Yeah.
page because it's a
Hard,
unit.
it's expensive.
Yeah. There's some elements there too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit about like search trends, a little bit about
Yeah.
analytics. What's some kind of like cool that you're working on, or that you've seen, or like maybe coming up, or that you're like, this is pretty sweet? I know I just threw that question at you. I didn't prep you for that
man.
at all.
Put me on the spot.
Yeah, I did put you on the spot.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm just generally jazzed for.
Great.
So I'm generally jazzed. So Google's really heavily investing in the idea of like an assistive experience.
Okay.
And so you have your Google Homes and your voice search.
Yeah.
And so I think that is really, that's really interesting for a lot of reasons because it goes back to providing value for people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's really what I'm excited for. I don't know where this is going to be sort of extrapolated
Right.
to, but I love that I can wake up in the morning and just be like, tell me the news,
Yeah.
or what's that thing, or what's happening with this person, or remind me to do this. This is a very integrated into your life technology.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really cool and really sexy, and
Yeah.
so I'm excited to see where that goes. And
Yeah.
what that means for nonprofits, we'll see.
Yeah.
But,
Well, we need assistance, so that so that helps.
yeah.
It just I was just writing emails, and then in Gmail,
Yeah.
of course, and it completed my sentence.
I know.
Is that like a new thing? It's new
It
to
is.
me. I was like, what just happened?
It is a new thing, and it will learn. So I have a very goofy
So it knows,
in
what
my
you're talking
emails, and so it spits back recommendations. I'm like, yeah, that sounds right.
Well,
That's cool.
it was a feature released a while ago, just kind of suggested responses
Yeah.
to email, great, thanks, and
Yeah.
that has saved me so much time.
I know, same.
Because we send out these personal emails, and everyone responds, which is awesome, and it's
Yeah.
we don't need to get in a big conversation,
Yeah.
but just great, thanks, and good to hear from you, and that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So if there's more of that
Yeah.
coming down the pipe,
There's always
then-
more of that stuff coming. There's
Great.
really cool things coming out of YouTube. There's really cool things coming out of Gmail.
Yeah.
I think for the first time ever, the sort of better integration between the power of search
Ooh.
and the search intent and pouring that over to YouTube,
Ooh.
that's really sexy and
Yeah.
really cool. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited by a lot of the resources that Google's putting out. We talked about mobile on the stage, but just free resources to help people get themselves in a better place. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited by the
Well,
stuff
good.
that Google's putting out.
You should be. It
Yeah.
sounds cool.
Yeah, it's rad.
Well, and we're excited to have you here and to have
Yes,
you
thank
speaking.
you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we're going to eat some. We have one more interview before we get to eat food. Well, hopefully you ate food, but I need to eat food. But we're going to do one more interview. So first, we're going to take a quick little break for a sponsor here and bring in the next interview. So thank you, Jamie.
Optimization inside it, baby. Ooh.